everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. My name is Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. And today I wanted to show you how I made the most adorable Yeti card. Now, if you're like me, you completely passed over this sweet Yeti to Party stamp set that is in the July to December mini catalog. But the amazing thing is Stampin' Up! Is coming out with coordinating dies for 6 stamp sets that are in either the annual catalog or the mini catalog. So it's called Perfect Partners. You will be able to get a 10% discount on these stamp sets with the dies, and that starts September 1st. So I wanted to show you the Yeti to Party stamp set with the coordinating dies that just, now that I have it, I'm having so much fun. Who can't resist a Yeti? Or we call them Sasquatches here. I think they're called abominable snowmen. That's kind of a horrible name. But anyway, lots of names for the same kind of creature. So let me show you this fun card. And what's really cool about this stamp set is it's not just for Christmas, although there are holiday sentiments on it. There are also birthday sentiments. So I have made my Yeti card into a birthday card. All right, let me switch over to my desktop and I'll show you how I made this card. All right, so first of all, here's the card that I shared as part of the Creativity Abounds blog hop today. And so I just wanted to show you how I made it. Isn't it pretty? Pool Party and Sweet Sorbet has become one of my favorite color combinations. And then this great Yeti that I have cut out using the dies, this great die that cuts out a scarf. There's a really cool die that cuts a slit so you can tuck in different things. He's got a cup, an ice cream cone, a parcel like I've done, heart. So lots of things you can kind of tuck into his arm and put a banner on it. And then, of course, the mountains in the background. So just a really fun card. Okay, so this is the stamp set. Again, great Yeti stamp. Lots of sentiments in fun fonts. And then all of these other stamps. And there are coordinating dies for some of them, including, so the mountains. I'm not going to use these today, but these dies, if I can get them off, we'll cut out the 2 different sizes of mountain peaks. There are here. There is even the peaks, so the snow cap peaks in 2 different sizes. All the little dies that cut out like this. I'm going to use the parcel on this one. This is that. I'm having a hard time getting these dies off after I got them so arranged. This is that fun scarf that fits around his neck. The banner, which I'm going to cut a stamp and cut out. Oh, and this one, I didn't know what this was, but this actually fits kind of over his arm, and all it does is cut out a slit that we will use to tuck a parcel inside. So just really fun. Okay, so let's start making the card. Again, I'm using one of my favorite new color combinations of Pool Party and Sweet Sorbet. So my card base is 4 1/4 by 11. So I'm scoring it at 5 1/2. And then we're folding on folding into the raised line. And grab my bone folder and give it a really good burnish. So that's the card base. Then I've got a piece of Sweet Sorbet that is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we'll just adhere this on to the card base. So again, the dies, the stamp set's available now, but starting September 1st, you will be able to grab the dies and the stamp set if you don't own it. So it's be available as a bundle, so you'll save 10%. So this starts September 1st. Okay, so there's my card base. Now I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. Just want to make sure I got the right one. So I've cut this, I believe this is cut, yes, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And the reason I've got it that size is because I want more of the Sweet Sorbet to show. So we're going to do some stamping with the mountains, which I forgot to grab. So let's grab the mountains and that while we're at it. So there's the parcel we'll need, and then the bigger mountain and the smaller mountain. So we're just going to do some stamping of the mountains behind the Yeti. So we're going to stamp our bigger mountains first. So stamp. Try and line them up. And then this one will go down like this. And then the little one, I'm going to, oh, that's not. Okay, let's figure this out. How did I do this before? Well, obviously, I haven't got these lined up very well. So let's do some. Let's take that off. I'm going to do some masking. So I've got some Post-it note tape. I don't have any of the masking paper, but what I want to do is mask off this mountains. So you can use Post-it note tape. You could use Post-it note. Or you can use the masking paper. But I just covered off the part of the mountains that I don't want to have it overlap on, like that. And we'll do the same on this side. So the Stampin' Up! Masking paper works really well for this. But since I don't have any handy, there we go. All right. So then we're going to color this with, I've got my dark Pool Party Stampin' Blend. If you wanted to, you could cut out the mountain, the snow cap. There are dyes, but I'm just going to take and color these with, I'm not doing any blending, I really am coloring. So you could use your Stampin' Blend in Pool Party, or you could use Stampin' Write marker in Pool Party. I made this card for a swap, and I made 8 of them, which is why I decided to color the snow caps instead of cutting these out. I would have had to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 8, 40 of these out, and I just decided I was going to color instead. But you could easily cut these snow caps out of using the die. Okay, now I wanted to add a little bit of texture to the background. So I have got this is the Time Worn Type embossing folder. So I'm just going to take and put my stamped images into my embossing folder. Grabbing my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Need those. So I need, for this one, it's a 3D embossing folder, so I need the platform 1 and platform 4. So we're just going to run this through, and that will emboss. So it'll just give some texture to my card. Oopsie. Light. All right. So we'll take that out. So I don't know if you can see. There we go. So you can kind of see my mountains now have some texture. So this can now be adhered to the card base. Again, use whatever your favorite adhesive is. There we go. Okay, so we got our card base mostly on its way. Let's grab, so I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp my Yeti realized I didn't grab my Sweet Sorbet ink, so I'm going to just quickly grab that. Maybe quickly, there it is. You think you have everything, but you don't. So at the same time, I'm going to stamp this sentiment that says, "Get Yeti to party, it's your birthday." And I'm going to stamp this down at the bottom. And then the other thing that I'm going to, no, I think that's all oh no, I need to stamp my banner. So let's stamp the banner down here in the bottom in tuxedo black. I think I can fit everything on my sentiments. Yep, okay, let's leave that out. I need that. Okay, so then while we've got our ink pads out, I'm going to stamp again on this Sweet Sorbet, the Get Yeti to Party, because I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to cut part of my sentiment from the Sweet Sorbet and part from the basic white. Okay. Oh, and I did miss one thing. I knew I'd miss one thing. I missed stamping my gift. So he can fit there. There we go. Try to make my piece of cardstock big enough so that I can get everything cut out. Now, I'm going to stamp or color my Yeti using Smoky Slate. So I am going to go just over the whole thing in the light Smoky Slate. Not worrying too much about, just as long as I don't go too far over the lines. I'm leaving his face white. You could use either Petal Pink or one of the natural tone blends to do the face, but I'm going to just leave his face white. Do his horns. So when I use Stampin' Blends, I tend to always start with the lighter of the colors that I'm using, and then I go back in and add where I want to add some of the definition where there might be some shading. So in this case, I'm using the light, and now I'm going to go in and add just maybe underneath the arm where there could be a little bit of a shadow. I'm not really very good at figuring out where the light is going to be shining, but I just try to go in and add a little bit of texture or a little bit of shading just to kind of break up the color. And I'm going to make his horns the dark color. And then I go back in with my light and just kind of do some blending to try and get rid of some of that line, or the definite line that I created when I used the dark. Really, you're just adding more color over top of it. The alcohol will kind of move the color around. Yeah, just kind of try and blend out, the obvious lines. There we go. All right, so there's the Yeti, more or less. So now let's do some coloring of the banner. I'm going to color in kind of alternate alternate the dark Pool Party with the dark Sweet Sorbet. I just love this color combination. And then we're going to use the dark sweet sorbet on his parcel. I'm not doing any blending on this one. I am just literally using the marker to color. And we'll do the dark for the bow. There we go. Okay, that's our coloring. Let's do some die cutting now. So let's find the dies that I need. So first of all, let's do the Yeti. Again, I use Post-it note tape to hold my dies in place, particularly on stamped images. Now, I'm going to move that down a little bit on the arm. Now I want to cut a slit, and the way this works, the die fits right over top of his arm. So I'm going to just take and put it in place like that, and all it's going to do is cut a slit in the top of the arm. And then the parcel, that one, oops. The banner. Let's get my pieces. I've got lots of pieces of the Post-it note tape hanging around. Use them up. All right. And then the other thing I want is the scarf. So we will cut a scarf out of sweet sorbet. All right. That is bring in back in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now this time we need plate number 2 and then 2 plate number 3s. So we'll cut the scarf and then all of these pieces all at the same time. There we go. Let's get this out of the way. I think I'm done with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There's my scarf. Don't lose that. Okay. So we can take all of these pieces off. Put my dies back on their home so I don't lose them. I'm known to lose dies. And the last one, save that. Okay, I think I've got all my pieces. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this present will now fit. The Yeti has just a little slit that you can now slide whatever it is you want down into that little slit. So there are lots of things you could do: an ice cream cone, a heart, the parcel, lots of things. Okay, so let's do this. We are going to use mini dimensionals, and we're going to adhere this banner, kind of string the banner between his hands. So I'm just going to take and put 2 of the mini dimensionals, and we'll just kind of string this banner between his 2 hands. And then we're going to take and use a mini dimensional underneath here. I just want to pop up this present a little bit like that. We are going to use the big dimensionals on oops, you know what I did? I forgot to put his scarf on first. So let's put his scarf on and then we can put the parcel. So just a little bit of glue on the scarf. Don't go all the way because the scarf kind of stretches over to one side. So you don't want to put glue on the 2 tails. Now we can put our parcel back in the slot and press down so it adheres. All right, so now we're going to use dimensionals on our Yeti. I'm going to put one over top of where the parcel comes through just to hold it in place, even though we had a dimensional on there. But oops. There we go. Okay, so now we can put our Yeti in place. So we're going to put him kind of here. That. Now, let's, the sentiment. I stamped twice, and you'll see the reason. So I'm just going to take and fussy cut this out. You could use the whole thing if you wanted to, but I decided I was going to just take and cut the It's Your Birthday off of that one. And then for this one, we're going to just use Get Yeti to Party. And we're going to take and just cut the top part of that off. And I'm not worrying, I'm just fussy cutting. So I'm not worrying if these are straight. And in fact, it's better if they're not straight, because that way it doesn't look like you tried to get it straight and didn't. So I'm going to use dimensionals. And this is going to go up here. And then I'm going to use mini dimensionals on this one because it's not wide enough for the full-size dimensionals. And we'll put this down. Oops, let's get it going the right way. We'll put this down here. Actually, I don't need a dimensional down this on this end because that's already popped up. So let's take that dimensional off if we can. And just put a little bit of glue. There we go. Let's hold that until it sets. Okay. All right. So the last thing that I want to put on, now on my original card, I used the Pool Party in the glossy dots. I'm out of those Pool Party glossy dots. So these are the solid faceted gems, and they have Pool Party in them as one of the colors. So we'll use some of these instead. Two sizes. They're not quite as big as the glossy dots, but they work. Now, I think I'm going to have to use glue dot and not the glue because it keeps popping up. So let's grab a glue dot and just put a glue dot underneath that. There we go. That'll hold it. Okay, so there. Now, one thing I did do on my original card is I used Wink of Stella, which I can't find. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I used Wink of Stella on the tops of the mountains. So you can just take and color the tops of the mountains that show. I could have done this before I put my sentiment on, but that's okay. So I'm just taking and coloring, and then the parcel. So let's just get some Wink of Stella. When you're trying to press the Wink of Stella, make sure you put it on a scrap because you can get some Wink of Stella coming out, and you don't want that big splodge of Wink of Stella to get on your card base. All right. The last thing is we've got a piece of basic white cardstock. Now I'm just going to take and stamp some parcels down in the bottom corner. I don't know what I've got on here. It's not very clean. There we go. Just some parcels. I'm not even going to color them. I'm just going to put the parcels, and then we will adhere this into the inside of the card. Card open. There we go. All right, so there we go. There's my Yeti card. Isn't he fun? I just think he's so much fun. All right, everybody. Give a goats. So I hope you enjoyed that card, and I hope you take a look at all 6 of the new set of dies and the bundles that are available starting September 1st. You may not have noticed these stamp sets, and so having coordinating dies just is so appealing. Just makes making cards so much easier. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, sorry. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're watching. That way you'll be notified when I go live or when I post a video. Also, this card was shared as part of the Creativity Abounds blog hop that went live today. So hop over to my blog. The link is underneath this video, and you will be able to find the link to all 12, well, there's 13 of us, so the other 12 demonstrators in the blog hop, you'll be able to find the links to their beautiful cards. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.